One of my goals at the beginning of this year was to work on more bigger finished pieces out of the comfort zone of my sketchbook, to work more conceptually, more from imagination rather than so heavily from reference. And I don't think I could have gone further from that so far. So I decided today that I wanted to paint something. I didn't know what, and I didn't really know where to start. And I figured out today along the way a little go-to process that's gonna kind of jumpstart me into that journey to a finished piece. Now, this isn't the only way to do it, obviously. This is kind of my portable process, something that I can kind of do wherever and whatever kind of mood I'm in. So sometimes, you know, it's great to work outdoors with other artists, maybe to collaborate with other people. Sometimes it's great to go to galleries for inspiration. Sometimes you're just alone in your room and you want to paint something. And sometimes you're away traveling and you want to be able to capture those moments. So this is a process that I wanted to put together for myself, something that would work in any of those settings, really. Now, this video is coming to you today as part of my partnership with Intel, and thank you guys so much for your response to my last video with them. This laptop, and more importantly the supercharged processor that it has, I was really excited to see what that could bring to the planning stage of my process today, which I think is actually the most important part of creating a finished piece. It was cool to find a balance because I've recently been finding that I jump more back and forth between digital and traditional when I am planning a piece. But you'll see more of what I mean about that as I go on. So first, obviously, it's time to look for inspiration. I had no idea what I was going for this particular piece. I had no ideas, no just beginning point to start with, so I was kind of scared to start with, but I know that I'm a very visually stimulated person, so I first started out by just going online, searching for images, looking on Instagram, looking on Pinterest, looking at art of other people that I love, just looking for really nice images that would spark something in my mind. I also spent a little bit of time watching some cool videos and a little bit of a film as well. Here, Intel have really delivered incredible performance in such a neat and sleek little package with their first processor with discrete graphics, and I don't count it as procrastinating if I'm looking for references. Now, I can actually save time and do all of these things at once on this laptop. The 8th gen Intel Core i7 processor means that multitasking really isn't an issue at all. I can browse super fast from one thing to another, jump down that inspiration rabbit hole wherever it leads me, and I can even stream 4K completely seamlessly. I've also found that during this heat wave that we're having, it's been great to just get outside and look for inspiration, just get some fresh air, get out of this room. Like I said in my drawing houses video, it's nice to just walk around without headphones on and be really aware of my surroundings and just take in everything around me and take some photos as well. There's real ease and flexibility in this 2-in-1 laptop, being able to jump from the hard work of compiling and sourcing references to jumping straight into sketching and brainstorming and all the other fun stuff. Got the added bonus of the touchscreen and stylus capabilities as well built into this, so when something does stand out to me, I can make notes instantly, I can save images, just pick and choose from the mountain of visual stimuli that are out there and compile it into a mood board or a visual coming together of all the things and themes and colours that are standing out to me at the time. So that's what I do. It doesn't have to make sense or connect. I'm just gathering all the information that I can, anything that kind of takes my fancy, just putting it all in one place and not trying to read anything from it straight away. Sometimes it takes a while for those ideas to ruminate and for something real to come forward, but after a while of kind of messing about and tweaking with them, there's always one kind of solid idea that's poking through and trying to develop into something else. If I'm still kind of struggling, I will just get straight into making thumbnails. Even if I don't have an idea in mind, it helps to just fill a page with little boxes and challenge myself to draw something in them, and that generally sparks the momentum, the flow to get going, and something will eventually start to stand out. Now, this is where the jumping back and forth starts for me. I definitely feel more comfortable sketching on paper, but I do prefer to colour and plan out different compositions digitally, where I have the control over being able to tweak things and mess about with things more easily. Obviously, if I'm drawing a subject I've never drawn before, this is the time to start doing some studies, and obviously if I was spending more time on this, then I would put more time into that. But this, as I said, is a really compressed version of this process. So I'll spend, a half hour, maybe an hour doing a few studies just to get a good idea of the subject I'm drawing, so I'm able to manipulate it in a way that will work for the particular piece. The back and forth continues until I'm relatively happy with the composition of the piece, and once I've got a few kind of colour swatches mapped out digitally, and then I will go straight from my messiest sketch, I'll just put that under a fresh piece of paper. I will pop them both on my light box and trace over for a fresh, clean starting point. And then it's just a case of getting together all the supplies I think I'll need. If I'm feeling particularly nervous, as I was today, I might just sit and kind of visualize the process of the painting, not necessarily how it's going to turn out, but more so the steps that I might take to get there. So where I'm going to start in order to make it easier to do the next step and the next step. Like maybe it could be like starting from the back and working your way forward so that things stand out properly and things don't get lost in the background. And then honestly, there's no real routine after that because obviously every piece is different. So in this case, I decided that I would start with a kind of light wash of everything, just to get the basic colors in, have them all kind of meshing together. That's kind of the look that I wanted to go for anyway. And then I went in with the background color, a darker background color, just to have everything standing out. And then with that, I was pretty happy with how it was looking at that point. I added a few more watercolor details to add a bit of dimension, and then just went ahead with some colored pencils to make everything kind of stand out, come together. It was a bit of a watery mush, which kind of looked all right in my opinion, but I thought a little bit of colored pencil right at the end would be nice to just bring it all together, finish it off nicely, and really make it pop. And there it is, a completed, finished piece of art, pretty much planned and fleshed out in one sitting. Something a bit more creative than my usual stuff, something a tiny bit further out of my comfort zone, which is definitely what I was looking for. And this is a process, a planning process that I can really take from now on. Whenever I'm feeling a little bit of doubt, I can take this and do this every single time. And that's what I mean about this process being portable, with, you know, a few basic supplies and this 2-in-1 helper that has basically everything I need in one place. If I desperately want to make a painting wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, this is always going to work for me. So thank you so much for watching. Information on this laptop and Intel's Core i7 processor will be linked in the description below, so do make sure to check it out if I have piqued your interest. And other than that, I will see you in the next video. Bye.